Welcome back to everyone to my Black History Month reviews, and this is going to be my thoughts on the 1991 romance drama Jungle Fever, which was written, produced, and directed by Spike Lee. And this is one of those movies that was nominated for one of my favorite films of all time. This stars Wesley Snipes, Annabella Sciorra, Spike Lee, Ossie Davis, Ruby Dee, Halle Berry on first film debut, Samuel L. Jackson, John Turturro, Anthony Quinn, Lonette McKee, and Brad Dourif, and a bunch of other people. And in this movie, Jungle Fever explores the beginning and end of an extramarital interracial relationship against the urban backdrop of the streets of New York City in the early 1990s. A married black lawyer named Flipper begins an affair with Angie, his white secretary. When the news is leaked through an acquaintance, Flipper's wife kicks him out of the house, and he decides to court his mistress, only to be greeted with disapproval from friends, family, even strangers. The relationship continues to be strained in a society that is not ready to accept, and people are hurt during its inception. Now, as I said, Jungle Fever, this is one of those honorable mentions that is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think Jungle Fever is a very well done movie and is a very well made film, talking about the ups and downs of an extramarital interracial relationship while also dealing with the themes of racism and drugs, as Spike Lee usually likes to do in his movies. And Spike Lee, I haven't seen his entire filmography, but for the ones I have seen, he's pretty great when it comes to his track record. There's not really a movie of his I have liked just yet. I gotta see the rest of his filmography, but going into this one, rewatching this so I can preface this review, I was very happy to get down to watching because I think movies about interracial relationships are some of my favorites, and like Get Out, this definitely does tackle these themes very well. And I gotta say, rewatching this, I am very happy to report that this movie still holds up for 23 to 25 years later, because this came out in 1991. So let's talk about why I feel that way. And the first big thing I definitely have to say is Spike Lee's writing and direction. His writing and direction, you can tell that Spike Lee, even if you don't like the guy as a director, or he has a vision and he made his vision happen. This is a very well written romance genre that's able to tackle on some pretty heavy subject matter. And this is some stuff that is still kind of going on today, but now the world is starting to go a little bit more accepting when it comes to the themes of what an interracial relationship would be like in the real world and how people will respond to it. And I definitely appreciate that. I definitely do think that was the best thing this movie did stick out, was for the interracial relationship. And you have a successful black man and you have an Italian American white woman who is basically are in love with each other, but at the same time, because of the environment they live in, they can't be together. And so you definitely get that, and I definitely see what they're trying to do, and you definitely get what Spike Lee is going for here. His themes of interracial drugs, as well as racism, how people feel about it, is very accurate and is very well done in this movie. You feel it, and you do feel bad for our two main characters because they love each other so, but they can't be together because people are judging them and criticizing them. And honestly, today, yes, it still goes on just a tiny little bit, but nowadays we have the right to date whoever we choose, no matter what skin color they are. And watching this movie, it is pretty relevant to watch because you do see this all the time, especially in movies like this. Also, the themes such as drugs and racism, as far as the one character with Flipper's brother, Gator, he is a drug addict, and pestering family members for money. and which is Samuel L. Jackson's character, and he played the hell out of this part. He got nominated for an Oscar for this, and Samuel L. Jackson, he did have his own personal experiences with drugs, so that was able to help Spike Lee make the character more realistic and establish the antics and visibility in the film. And I think Samuel L. Jackson captured that very well as Gator. He is great. You can definitely see why he got the Oscar nomination that he did, and he got the praise that he did for this. But the themes of racism, it is pretty relevant. Racism still goes on to this day. Look what's happening with police, mostly. And with stuff like Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Any life, basically all of that, if you really want to go into detail about it. But I felt Spike Lee handled it in it definitely does have the same timely themes that other movies has spoke about, for better and worse, but I think Spike Lee does it in a way with his script that makes it emotionally gripping, but also a very dramatic experience, and I felt that. Going on, like I said, the script and the direction is absolutely great. The characters, you get to care about them, even the unlikable ones. You get to care about them for one reason or the other, how they feel about the situation. Spike Lee's direction is really great. This is one of Spike Lee's best movies, and he really tackled this movie with so much passion and so much energy. And I definitely respect Spike Lee for that. As far as technical aspects goes, you have great technical aspects. The cinematography is well done here. I really love the editing. The movie is not too long. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes. It gets you in and out. You also have some great pacing moments, some great moments of dialogue, some very good moments that I very much enjoyed while rewatching it. And a lot of scenes in this movie, I went back and I remembered from when I first watched it. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. Spike Lee, he went for it with this. Of course, you gotta talk about the score by Terrence Blanchard. It is great. He is a consistent collaborator with Spike Lee, and he's done music for other things like Eve's Bayou. His music is great, but Stevie Wonder's songs are awesome. I really love the songs here, especially the song that plays during the credits, where he talks about the king and queens, and the Jungle Fever theme song. You gotta love it. It's Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is one of my favorite musicians, so that comes into no shock at all. Acting wise, everyone in this movie does a very great performance. Wesley Snipes, this is one of his best roles as, of course, a loving husband, Flipper, and he sells it. Wesley Snipes, this was him in his prime, and even nowadays, Wesley Snipes is still the man, despite him not being in many movies as much. Even as Blade, he was the man, so put some respect on his name. Annabella Sciorra, she's really great as Angie. I think she does great. She has great chemistry with Wesley Snipes. They both play off each other very well, and you feel bad for them. You get to see why they are in love with each other. Spike Lee is great as Cyrus, of course. I think Ossie Davis is great as the Good Reverend Dr. Purify. Ruby Dee as the mother, I think, is incredible. Samuel L. Jackson is fantastic as Gator, as I just mentioned. Lonette McKee does a great job as Drew Purify. You also have people like John Turturro, Frank Benson, Anthony Quinn, even going from Nicholas Turturro, Miguel Sandoval, Halle Berry, a very young Halle Berry in her first film debut, and of course Teresa Randall, the late Charlie Murphy, Giancarlo Esposito, Tim Robbins, Brad Dourif, of course, and also Teresa Randall. So it's a hell of a stacked cast in this movie, hell of a stacked cast, and everyone does a very good job in their performances as well. This movie is almost perfect, as I said. I do have to get into the issues here. Of course, I'm always gonna have this problem I've had this problem even when I was younger. And when it comes to movies like this or hip hop movies, I can deal with this to a certain extent, even westerns, but I really just disown the N word here. That is a thing that's always gonna get to me. Even though there are way worse words than that, but it's just the N word always kind of triggers me. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that it is a racial slur, so that does take me out of the movie just a little bit whenever someone uses it. And I will say there are some slow moments that could have been trimmed for pacing reasons, but at the same time, those are really the only two issues I have. It's just I'm always gonna have a problem with the N word every time. But all in all, Jungle Fever, it was a nice way to go back and revisit this. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is my favorite Spike Lee movie. This is, to me, his best film besides Inside Man, even though he's done a lot of great movies. This is a well-done film, and it tackles its themes such as drugs, racism, and the interracial relationship very well with great performances and powerful direction, great cinematography to technical aspects, and a great score and songs by Stevie Wonder as well. So I'm gonna give this my highest recommendation. You should definitely see this. This is a Spider-Verse worthy film. Even with those issues, I'm giving it that grade. So those were my voiceover thoughts on the amazing Jungle Fever. In the comment section down below, what did you guys think of Jungle Fever? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or you somewhere right in the middle? I was a little late, so you are going to see this as well as my thoughts for Soul uploaded at the same time. By the time this is uploaded, which is the 19th on my sister's birthday. So look out for my thoughts on that. Soul, I'm very happy to present that to you. And to close things out, I can announce that we have one final movie for Black History Month to talk about, but I'm going to continue this anyway. American Gangster. I am so excited to talk about American Gangster. I can't wait to bring that to you guys on the 28th. That is going to be a lot of fun for me to talk about, so I can't wait to bring you guys that. I have a lot to say about that movie. But in the comment section down below, let's talk about Jungle Fever. Is this your favorite Spike Lee movie? Is this your least favorite? What did you think of it? Did you see it when it came out? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it did its job well? All my social media links to the description box down below. To my social media, if you'd like to send any money to my Cash App, is there as well as my Amazon wish list. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss any notifications for videos like this, or TV reviews, anime reviews, music talk, live streams, anything that. Also, be sure to share this video because it does help with the algorithm, and it does help the channel grow, and it helps me get more subscribers. As always, join the Epictasticness. You guys keep it cool and stay epictastic.